Welcome back to Spotify, the greatest podcast in the world. So, my name is Aakash Ramakrishna, and as your host, I'll be doing a video today about the Formula One season 2025 season. So, basically, I'll be giving my predictions on the team standings at the end of the season, so the driver championship. So, let's start off with the teams. So, I think we'll start from the bottom, so from 10th all the way to the first. So, finishing bottom this year, I think it's going to be the Salvers. I think the Salvers are still not good enough. I think they'll score more than 4 points, which is what they scored last year. But I don't think they'll get close to finishing above 9th or 8th. I think at best 9th, but I still think personally they're going to finish 10th. Hulkenberg is a superb driver. Bortoleto is a interesting talent. It'll be interesting to see how he performs. But at the same time, I do think that the other teams have way faster cars and better, and are better equipped to finish higher. So in 9th, I think it will be Racing Bulls, the Visa Cash App, whatever you want to call them. So the reason I think this is because Yuki Tsunoda is a very good driver, decent driver. But I think Alpine, Haas, and Williams are going to have better cars and better drivers than them. Isaac Hajar is not proven. There's not a lot of hype around him. They just promoted him because they didn't want to keep Perez or Ricardo. So I'm not 100% sure on how he's going to perform. He could do very well, but I think overall it's going to be quite a boring season if you're a Racing Bulls fan. Then in 8th, I think it will be Haas. So Haas finished 7th last season and they're very close to finishing 6th. But I think they will go one step backwards this season, and that is because they have a rookie in Ollie Behrman. I think he's very good, but as shown in Brazil, he's still not used to like the high pressure and difficult condition races. So I do think that Haas will be taking a step backwards this season, but in 2026 I think they'll come back stronger. So in 7th, I think we will see Alpine. I personally think this is you could go either way between Williams and Alpine or Aston Martin even. I'm not 100% sold on Aston Martin, but I think that in terms of who's more likely to finish at the bottom out of the three, I think it's Alpine. I think Jack Doohan won't last even maybe half of the season. I think he get replaced by Colapinto, but even then I think it would be quite hard for them to finish above Williams and Aston Martin. So in 6th, I have Aston Martin. I think Newey will be joining the team, in this April or like towards the middle of this year. But I think it'll be too little, too late. I think they are on a downward trend, as can be seen from last season. And Stroll will be causing a lot of liabilities. He'll be crashing a lot, and Fernando Alonso can't be the only one scoring points. I think their car is just not fast enough. In 5th, I have Williams. So I think they're going to have a massive improvement from last season, but mostly because of their driver pairing. They have a very good driver lineup in Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, and as seen in the practice session earlier today, they are quite fast, and I think they'll do decent this season. I think they'll finish 5th, which is quite unexpected, but at the same time, you would expect them to finish higher than before, considering they have a very good driver in Carlos Sainz. In 4th, we have I think Mercedes are still going to stay there. They have a rookie in Kimi Antonelli. We don't know how he's going to perform. George Russell, whether he can step up and be the leader in Mercedes. I think they won't fall off a lot in terms of the points they gain, but I do think they will still be significantly behind the top 3. So in 3rd, I think we will have Ferrari. So a lot of people think that Ferrari may win the championship this season, and I don't deny that they have a very fast car and a superb driver lineup in terms of Hamilton and Leclerc. But I think Hamilton will take some time to adapt to the Ferrari, and that will cause a bit of issues at the start. So they'll give up a few podiums, few wins in the beginning of the season, first half, and by the time they catch up, it will be too little, too late. And I think Red Bull's car should have been improved from last season. I do know this is the last season with the old regulation, but I do think that Red Bull have it in them to give one last push and try to win the Constructor Championship this season. But in second, I actually have Red Bull. So I personally am a McLaren supporter, but I promise you this is not biased. I do think that Red Bull have done a bit of a risk by relying on Lawson or Tsunoda or someone else more experienced. But I think Lawson will be okay. But I just think that the car is just not as fast as McLaren. I think they'll be faster than Ferrari, which is definitely an improvement. But I think they won't be able to catch up to McLaren. It will be close though. I think the difference would be like maybe just 30 points or less than that. But I do think that uh, even if Verstappen wins the driver championship, which is not a given, I think they'll struggle to finish first. And on first, I have McLaren. So I try to keep this as unbiased as I can, but personally, they just have the fastest car. You know, they've been rapid. Most of the mistakes that led to Max Verstappen were like unforced errors in terms of tactics or tire changes or like driver switches or that kind of stuff. And I think that as long as they fix all that, they should be able to get the drivers championship as well. Even if they don't fix that and there's still a few errors here and then, I think their speed is just too much for Red Bull and they will finish top. Now moving on to the drivers championship. So I'll be going from bottom to top. So in 21st, I think Jack Doohan. It seems like I don't have a lot of belief in Jack Doohan, but that's truly because I think he's cooked. I think he's gonna get replaced quite early on in the season. Maybe at Spain, maybe in Italy, who knows. But yeah, I think he gets replaced before the first half of the season. Clearly, Alpine don't have that much faith in him. They have quite a short contract with him, if I'm not wrong. I think it's only for 5 races and then get extended if he doesn't crash the car or something. But yeah, I think Colapinto will replace him and do a far better job. In 20th, I have Isaac Haja. Again, sorry for not having faith in the rookie, but I truly think, even though he finished second place in F2, there's not much hype around him as there is, like Behrman and Bortoletto, and I'm not really sure whether Red Bull themselves believe that he can do super well in his first season. I think he will do decent enough, but he won't score that many points. I think he will like maybe pick up 4 by the end of the season, which is not that great. So in 19th, I have Behrman. So again, it's the rookies team, but I'm not really sure what I can do beyond that. So I think he'll be alright, but he won't finish in the points. I think he'll finish quite close regularly, like 13th, 12th, 11th, and I think you get like maybe 7 points. But yeah, in general, I don't think Haas will do that well this season. I think they'll go down in terms of performance. So yeah, it's not fully his fault. I think the car will play a part in that. In 18th, I have Hockenberg, a former Haas driver himself. He's in a Sauber, which is quite slow. I think it won't be a single digit season again, but yeah, they'll be bottom, and I think he will pick up a couple of points, but not good enough. In 17th, I have Bortoletto. I think he'll score maybe 1 or 2 points more than Hockenberg, but not much more than that, and that's the reason why they'll be bottom. In 16th, I have Ocon. I think he'll pick up a fair bit fewer points to pick up for the slack for Behrman, and that's why Haas will finish above Sauber and Vida Kasha RB. In 15th, I have Colapinto. I think he will do decent, and yeah, I think he'll pick up a couple of points. He will do some impressive drives, but nothing too special. Not as fiery as his last, his cameo last season. In 14th, I have Tsunoda. Again, he'll have to pick up a lot of slack for Haja because I think Isaac Haja will take quite a lot of time to adapt to the car, and I think he'll get a fair decent amount of points, but not too much. And it would definitely not be enough to go higher than 9th in the constructors championship. In 13th, I have Stroll, only on the count that he's in the better car than the people below him. So I expect him to pick up a few points. I don't think he's a better driver in any sense. And yeah, I think he will benefit from the Aston Martin, but he'll be the one pulling them down and leading them to finish below Williams. So in 12th, I have Gasly. I think Pierre Gasly will have another decent season in the midfield. They won't light the world on fire, but I think Alpine and Gasly will do pretty decent, relative to their last few years. In 11th, I have Albon. I think Williams will do pretty well this season. I think Albon himself will have an improvement from last season. He pick up a couple of points, do quite well, maybe even like a P5, P4 in a few races, which would be impressive in a Williams. But yeah, nothing crazy. So now we get into the top 10. So number 10, I have Alonso. Alonso himself is a fantastic driver, but he can only work with what he's been given. And yeah, I think the Aston Martin car won't be too impressive, but he'll be able to, drag it along for a 10th place finish in the Drivers' Championship. In ninth, I have Antonelli. So you guys might be surprised on why he's so low, but I think, again, it will take some time for him to adapt. And Mercedes itself, the car is not that fast. And in the end, he'll finish a decent ninth. For an 18-year-old, I think that will be a pretty decent season, finishing ninth in your first ever Drivers' Championship. So in eighth, I have Sainz. I think he will be the reason why Williams finished above Aston Martin in the constructors. I think he'll pick up a few handy points every race. Maybe have only a few bad races because of the car mostly. But I think he himself will be carrying Williams, and they'll be able to finish in a very, very decent position because of him. I don't think he'll win, but I think he might get one podium. We have to see how the Williams is. So far, the signs are good, but you never know with Formula One. So in seventh, I have Liam Lawson. I think he'll be a bit of the reason as to why Red Bull finished second. I think he'll do pretty decent, compared to Gasly or or Albon, who were kicked out quite early on in their Red Bull sims. But I think he'll last the whole season. I think he might even come back for the next one. But you never know with Formula One. But I have a good feeling about Liam Lawson. I think he'll be pretty decent. He would definitely be 100 times better than Perez. In sixth, I have Russell. I think, Russell being the team leader of Mercedes, I think he'll finish okay sixth. Of course, he would want to be much higher than that. But I don't think he can compete with the faster cars above him. And sixth would be an acceptable result. Fifth, we have Hamilton. I think he finishes below his teammate Leclerc, who's in fourth. I think Hamilton will take a bit of time to get acclimatized to Ferrari, but I think he will have quite a few standout performances. He could win a Grand Prix or two, a lot of podiums, but yeah, I would say there will be a few races where he will not be on it, like he was in the last season. There are a few races where he wasn't really that good. I think it will be something similar here, but yeah, fifth. For Hamilton standards, not that good, but overall, I think it's pretty okay. In fourth, I think Leclerc. I think Leclerc will do quite decent this season, but once again, Ferrari themselves will have a drop-off, which is why they are both fourth and fifth. I think with the car he's been given, I think he'll do pretty well, but do I see Ferrari winning the championship this season? No. So that is why Leclerc and Hamilton are fourth and fifth. In third, this is a bit of a surprise. I think Lando Norris. I think Norris got very, very close to the sign last season. He almost won it, and I think this season will be a step back for him. I think he will, he might have a few on-field battles with Verstappen. That hunger to become the drivers' champion will lead to a few mistakes. I think that will cost him, and it'll be very close. First, second, and third will be super close, and I think he'll get leapfrogged in like the third last race or the second last race. And yeah, it'll be a somewhat disappointing season for a McLaren driver like Lando Norris, but I think 2026 might be easier. In second, I have Verstappen. I think he'll finally not win the Drivers' Championship. The reason for that is I just think the McLaren car is better, and Red Bull, of course, are no slouches. But I think Verstappen again will be something similar to 2024 when he had to drag the car over the finish line. I think it will be a bit better. I think Red Bull's car will be slightly faster than that, and Verstappen will have a lot of standout moments, and it will be very, very close to the Drivers' Championship. But I think he'll get beaten by Oscar Piastri. So guys, call me crazy, but I think Oscar Piastri is really, really talented. I think he has huge potential. I think he's going to make history. It's going to be a very unprecedented win. There's no signs of him like just bursting onto the scene like that. He's been having steady improvement, but I think this will be a rapid growth for him. He just got a new contract with McLaren. He's on the same side as Norris, so that shows they value him as much as Norris. I think he'll be super fast in the first half of the season. McLaren will start prioritizing him in certain situations, and he'll keep the fight up with Verstappen, and I think he'll leapfrog Verstappen in the last or second last race. I think it'll be super, super, super close this season, because it's the last season with this the old regulations. And I think generally This is not me being biased. Piastri is my favorite driver, but I genuinely think that he is fast enough to be a world champion. If this season, we don't know. I'm taking a punt here. It's a really big leap of faith, but I think he has it in him. I think he'll take everyone by surprise. If not first, I think he'll finish second or third, and it'll be very close, and he'll impress a lot of people this season. With that, this F1 team video is over. I'll be making a football one soon. Keep your eyes out for that, and thank you guys for watching. Do look at my older videos if you guys want to, and I'll catch you guys next time.